make me a bad mom. I hate going out, and sometimes I wish that my friend would cancel plans last minute.
Having a child is actually like facing the reflection of your deepest inner self.
Hi everyone, my name is Christine and I'm a work from home mom, and today I have my friend here, Jenny, and we are starting a series teaching how moms can cope with their challenges better.
So Christine, how's life being a mom?
Honestly, normally people would say I'm fine, but since we're very close, so I'm not going to say I'm fine. The mental load is a bit overwhelming, and my baby is 9 months old right now. So I'm facing a bit of identity crisis, I'm facing a bit of dilemma in terms of priority and especially clarity in terms of career, whether I should go back or not, take up more opportunities. But then I have a lot of guilt when I go back to career, because would that make me a bad mom? Because the baby is still so young and she's still dependent on me, and in my mind is like I should be a better mom. I shouldn't like abandon my baby.
Okay, can I just ask you like a question, like is there anything that you just feel like telling people, or you want to really say it out or express it out, but you just feel like you can't?
I hate going out, and sometimes I wish that my friend would cancel plans last minute, and I prefer to stay at home. Thinking about going out with friends and all the small talks is so tiring and very draining.
I see. So it's like because I know you as a person, I know that you are an outgoing person, and so now it's like you hate going out.
Yes.
Like, one of the things that I always share with moms, or at least like people who just begins to become a mom, having a child is actually like facing the reflection of your deepest inner self. After you become a mom and you feel like you have a lot of emotion and it's overwhelming, right? Sometimes it's also about some things that is not fulfilled when you are a child. That's why when you become a mom, you feel like filling up the gap. Like it's kind of like a healing process for people. And so it's very, very normal, like in the beginning when you start to become a mom, and then before that you are just on your own, right? And then now you know that you are having a life in front of you, like duplication of you. It's actually a chance for us to actually be able to see ourselves deeper. This is the part that where we have to actually understand everything that we do, or how do we actually respond to every single thing in our life is actually usually taught during when we were 0 to 7 years old. This is what we call imprint period. So that's why I ask you, because like if let's say from 0 to 7 years old, you are being taught that, or if the house is not clean, then you get that punishment. So that's why it's kind of like installed in your program that being a mom, you have to make sure that the house is clean. That's why it's kind of like installed in your mind. But when you can't fulfill that, you feel frustrated as well. Like that's why it's kind of like making you feel very, very overwhelming. Do you actually have a list of yourself, like what does it actually take to become a wife, and also what does it take to become a mom? If you can have a clarity of both, then at least you know that okay, what is the thing that I need to actually fulfill, and are the things that I actually list out possible for me right now?
As a wife, I need to be able to support my husband in terms of his career, and to support in the financial side as well. Not as in earning money, but more towards our saving goals. How do we change our lifestyle to match our financial goals? Cleaning the house, like making sure everything is tidy and not cluttered. If my husband needs emotional support, I have to be emotionally available. So for me, that is the 3 main things that makes me a wife. As a mom, for my baby is of course to be physically there. Of course to make sure she's a wife, because I'm still breastfeeding. So feeding her is, of course, I need to make sure she is well fed and well clean. Keeping the environment safe and making sure she is well fed is my main priority as a mom right now.
I think one of the things that from what I hear from you just now, if you actually realize, is both role that you have mentioned, right? Everything that you just told me is always about your output. Like, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to give this, I have to provide this. You have to also have a place where you can have input as well, because or else you are just gonna just give out everything you have and then but don't have input. But just imagine if you charge your phone, you just use your phone without even charging it, and you don't have any energy source to actually charge it. Of course, definitely a single person can actually just crash. And yeah, other days that you feel like, oh, I wake up and I just want to chill and I don't feel like doing anything.
In the morning especially, I feel the most in the morning, because at night I'm handling the feeding session because I'm still breastfeeding, right?
Yeah.
So I get so tired in the morning where I just don't want to do anything, and even the baby wakes up earlier than me, I would just let her play on her own. And sometimes at night it gets so tired. I get so tired that I will just want to lock myself in the bathroom and just stare into a blank.
I don't know if you know that some people will say that, you know, when they first sending their kids to
Kindergarten.
the kindergarten, then the kids will have like the separation issue, right? So, you know, I always tell those moms one thing. I say, you know what, the kids will have separation issue or like the separation anxiety. It's because you have that separation anxiety, like because your kids will literally absorb whatever feeling that you need. Notice that your baby girl is actually being very needy. You need to also really have a reflection of yourself, that do I receive enough? Because that needy part of your baby girl is actually just a reflection of yourself. That that you actually need that as well. Yeah, or else, and like we say that if the mom is actually fulfilled, the mom is like every needs of the mom is actually being fulfilled, you'll realize that kid is very like chill. Allow yourself to have support, allow yourself to express your feeling, because I think most people, because they have the perception of, or you know, mom needs to be everything, and which I think that this is not healthy, actually, especially for those who just started to become a mom, and it will get very, very overwhelming. And I know you as a person who is very purpose-driven. You are a very dominant person in your work, right? So how do you actually balance like this? Like did you come to a point that you feel like, wow, like I have to literally put my work down, and like how do you actually manage this transition?
Back then, I'm that
You used to run your own company, right?
Yeah, I'm that go-getter. Okay, if I want to do it, I will do it without hesitation. I will just do it. I don't care whether it's a risk or not. I will just do it. But now I have so much consideration in my. It's not just whether it's risky, but it's also time.
Okay.
If I do this, does my husband have the time to do his stuff? If I do this, does my mom has the time to take care of my baby? If I do this, does my baby, like what will happen to my baby schedule? The checkups, the taking care, the everything lah. Like you said, how do I transition into this career? I was very dominant. But now I'm still struggling because I don't know actually what I want from my career anymore.
I didn't understand that this is just a transition period where, you know, every time when a person enter into a new phase of their life, and they need to have a time to actually learn how to cope with everything. But at this point of your life, right, do you actually have people that can support you? I mean, like, actually giving. I know that maybe not your age, but then people that can really give you the mom advice.
For mom advice, of course, is my spiritual mentor, Samantha. She is somebody that I checked in with every week.
Okay.
During life group, and sometimes I would just private message her when things get too overwhelming. I'm just like, oh, I don't have any direction. Can you just come out and let me express myself and ask me transformative questions? So I know what I want. It's just so overwhelming inside my brain. I need somebody to talk to. Then Samantha is one of the person that I can look up to, and then there's my couple mentor Jerome and Wuning. So I have these two mentor figures in my life, which help me to cope, and they are also in the same environment as my workplace, right? So it's easier to communicate with them because they can know what is going on in my life.
I think this is something important, especially if we want to actually encourage moms who just like starting to cope with between work and also family. I think you bring out a very good point where we need to have mentors, or at least people who can actually give us advice, so that the whole process is not so overwhelming. Have you actually wondered like what type of mom that you actually want to become? Like, are you those kind that is like very dominant, like very like, oh, I talk, you listen, or like you will be like, I am very friend, I am your friend, you know, like you can tell me your boyfriend story. Like which type of mom you want to become?
I would say I want to be a sister to my daughter, but at the same time, I want to be a coach to her life. I don't want to be the one that I know the best. You should listen to me, because that's how I'm living my whole life already, and I don't really listen. I rebel against my mom. So I don't want to be that figure, but more towards a coach figure. Like, I will let her decide on her own what she wants to do, but at the same time, I will ask her question to align her, to get her to where she wants to be.
Yeah, because I think this is one of the struggles that moms have. Like, should I just become the authority figure, or should I become the supportive role? I always answer this way. I say it's depending on whether or not your kids can actually make decisions. Because I think sometimes parents are just confused, like, or should I just tell them what to do instead? But I think the most important thing is not about whether you tell them what to do, but you actually tell them how to think. Because when a kid can actually think for themselves, like, okay, before I take action, like, what is the consequences? If we actually train our kids to think it this way, actually you don't even have to worry about being an authority mom or like, or just a friend. It's quite controversial. Some people say, oh, you know what, you can never become a friend to your daughter because or else they won't listen to you, right? Yeah, but I think the thing is like, if we can actually educate them on how to think, the ability to think, then there's a different story. I think the best parenting way is actually through modeling, because your kids will not do what you tell them to do, but they will actually do what you do. So whenever, like, if you want to actually train your kids on how to think, right, you can always share with them like, oh, you know why mom make this decision is because this is what I think, and this is the consequences that I will actually encounter, and then like you always list down how them to analyze, and then they will know how to think. Because I think the whole education system that we are having right now is like, because you still remember all the education style is spoon feeding. Like, we have to just memorize everything. We don't know why, but we just feel out the answer. We have to like bulat tembak, like, or you know, just feeling. So I think the education didn't really teach us on how to think for ourselves.
Because I realized that I faced this issue when I was a kid. I was a people pleaser. So all my action and everything I do is to please people. And number one is a big lift on the shoulder, because that's not that burden anymore where I need to please everyone every single day, where it's so tiring. But I also lost the drive on what I'm supposed to do.
First thing first is understand from the point of view that we call it paradoxical thinking. So what is actually paradoxical thinking is the mastery of everything always involves both sides. So I always tell my students, you say that there will be a season of your life that you need to actually learn how to please people. I mean, like, you need to take care of other people, and there will be a season of your life that you need to also just focus on yourself and learn how to please yourself. Because it's not about choosing which side, but which chapter of your life do you think which one works. So I also have students that, you know, they live their life only consider about themselves. But when they find their partner, when they actually build a family, they struggle because they won't think for the other people around them. But you know, we live in a world there will always be people around us. So I think it's about being both sides. So if you think that, okay, I already master having people be considerate for people around me, so now this is maybe the time that you need to also just be considerate for yourself. What will be a sign, or what will be something that if it happened, then you will actually know that, okay, I think I am a good mom? Like, is there anything that when you see or hear it or feel it one day and you feel like, wow, like I feel like I have fulfilled my role as a mom?
I'm a very word of affirmation person. That I know. So
when
somebody praise me, like whenever my mom-in-law or my mother or my husband said that, oh, you did a good job, then I will feel, okay, I'm a good mom. Every morning I have this routine of doing listing down a to-do list. If I check off all the to-do list, then okay, that is a visual confirmation I'm a good mom.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Because there's something that in NLP we call a frame of reference, which like how do you actually get convinced about your strength or your strong point. Some people, they need the external validation from people, but the thing is you can't control. This is something like you cannot just keep asking your husband, hey, please tell me I'm good, right? So one of the things that we can actually do is actually we put it externally, like some quotes, or like you say, like if you put it on your phone, and it can actually also fulfill your external validation. What will be your desired or inspiring moment one day you can have with your daughter?
So like when she is 21 and I can tell her to decide on her own, and knowing that whatever I teach her, like I guide her how to think, when I am able to teach her on how to be independent, and when she is 21 she can decide and tell me, Ma, I know what I want for the future. Then that is a very inspiring moment, because I feel like a lot of my generation now, they don't know what they want. They're still struggling.
I know that as a quote, but I couldn't really say the exact words, right? It's called like most people, they live until the age of 80, but they actually die at the age of 20. Means like above 20, they just start living like a pilot, like autopilot, like
Driverless driving.
Yeah. Okay. Getting married, okay, then work, have kids, and So I think that's something that's very inspiring, and also something that we can actually do. Like the reason why I asked you this question is because if we can have a future picture of what do we actually want to see in our kids, right? Then I always tell my students, like, then give it to yourself first. If for you, the inspiring moment for you, for your kids, is actually they can find their purpose, right? Then you have some time for yourself to allow yourself to find your purpose as well. Because that's what you say, like you start to actually feel a little bit lost. So I think it's time for you to slow down and really think about, so what about me now? What is the thing that if I do, then one day I will just tell myself like, wow, I know my purpose, or I fulfill my purpose. That I want to also affirm you is because I notice your growth as well, and I know that like from a super outgoing person, and then because of your family, you are willing to actually adapt the other part, like almost the opposite part of you. So I think this is something that I can see your progress. So the key is also to recognize your own progress, to know that, like I am just adapting to a lifestyle that I never had before. So it's just a learning process. Yeah, most people, they mistaken independent as being like I can do things just on my own. But I look at one reel, which I think is very inspiring, and say actually the true independent is when you can actually slowly build out a lot of support system in your life, like you say your parents, your mentor, your friends, right? So you can have a lot of different support system. But some people, like if let's say they didn't spend time building all the different relationship, right? So they only have one support, let's say it's their husband. So that's why if the husband couldn't actually afford to give like financial or emotional support, they feel like, or they are isolated. So one of the things I think that you mentioned is a very good point, is to build as many support systems as you have to help you to cope with this period.
You mentioned about their only support system is the husband. And when the husband cannot afford to bring out the financial or emotional support, then the moms crumble. I'm very emotionally dependent on a certain person. Like, for example, my husband. When he's frustrated, he's mad, he's sad, I will feel like it's my problem. I feel like it's not just me, it's also my husband. When I feel frustrated, he will also feel like, am I not doing enough? That's why you're frustrated. And then when he is frustrated, I will also question myself, am I not doing enough? Then we will feel defensive against each other. What do you need more? Then it becomes, it will become a constant obstruction, communication barrier because we are always so defensive. We realize actually a lot of communication is due to expectation
Not being expressed.
Yes. And misalignment.
Yes.
So whenever we feel frustrated, we breathe in, we will straight away say, actually, I'm a bit frustrated because I expect this thing to do this way, but it didn't came out
Okay.
this way. Can you tell me why it isn't this way so I can understand your point of view? Then he will explain. Then, oh, I see. But is it possible if we do it my way? If he say, I don't think it's realistic, can we find an intersection or middle ground? We agree to it, then the expectation is set, the problem won't come up anymore.
I see.
Then it's just being very mindful that whenever we get frustrated, it's always because the expectation is not aligned, and we communicate this expectation out, everything feels much better.
Have you ever asked your husband like, what is it that he expects to see in your daughter, right? Because I think I noticed one of the common situation is because when a girl turns to a mom, we always like put a lot of focus on the mom transition on the girl parts only, but we actually forget that they are also going through the transition from a boy to become a father. So they are also learning. So, but if we didn't allow them to actually have the space to express, right? They themselves actually struggle and feel stressed as well.
I feel like this is a very important question because I always ask myself how to nurture the daughter, but I never ask my husband how he wants the daughter to be nurtured. Because I always expect myself to be the default parent. The default parent to educate her, or the default parent to take care of the baby, to educate every single aspect of her life. Where the father is more towards the money provider, making sure we survive.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a very common thing in Asia.
Yes.
In Asia. But I see a lot of parents break down because the way they expect to parent the child is different.
One of my favorite books is written by Mace Musk. It's actually Elon Musk's mother. So because she raised 3 of her kids very, very well, and then people actually ask her, what is your secret parenting skill? And she actually just say one thing. She say, you have to understand just one key thing. Your kids comes through you, but not for you. So if you actually realize this, she say, if you can let go of the expectation of they are your kids, they come for you, let go of this expectation as early as possible, then you won't feel frustrated with any situation that happen to your kids. Because at the end of the day, it's their life. Yeah, maybe you are responsible for at least the first 20 years of their life, but after that, they should be let go and just feel free to actually express. Okay, Christine, so what is the one last advice that you want to give to young moms?
That growth isn't about fearing of letting go of the past you, but is embracing the transition that you are having right now. And that being present, because you can't undo the past.
Yes,
you can't decide what you want to be for the future. And I feel like throughout the whole process as a mom, it's really about learning. There's no right or wrong.
Yes.
Learn what is right for you, learn what is not right for you, what works and what not works. Because everybody's opinion is really a stronger voice in their head. What they believe in might not be something that works for you.
Yes.
So that's my advice for moms out there. To really just learn to tell yourself at night that it's okay. I'm still learning. Make that decision along the way on what you want to do every single day to improve that 1% of yourself. Just improve 1% every day. Right. That's the end of today's episode, and I hope to see you guys next time, and we'll talk more about our NLP endeavors in the future.